approaching your system.
Hello, welcome to, sorry for this, for me being late again. I've been bloody technical issues. It's all a small mess, unfortunately. And now I have stuff that I'm absolutely not interested in. But that being said, I'm happy here. I'm here. We're back in Dyson's program. My mech is doing the robot, and I have a seed I need to take, a dark fog seed I need to take care of immediately, which I'll be going to do. And yeah, thank you all for coming in. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I am very happy for you to be here. So I do somewhat remember what I have to do currently. There is some stuff that I had gotten ready to
Flight mode.
okay, I have to go all the way to Thubin for that one.
Flight mode.
There's not much I'm going to be able to do against that. I don't want Thubin, at least currently, I don't want it to be invaded.
Warp engine activated.
So, let's quickly fly over, take care of the seed, basically rest and come back. Okay, not exactly sure what they meant with that.
Warp engine deactivated.
That was quite a sneeze.
Warp engine activated. engine deactivated.
Because I have to push my normal speed a little bit more to catch up with that thing. That should make me definitely faster than the seed. Not even the smallest of chances. Let's look. There's so much flying around. Lambda City is getting put under siege soon again as well. Bloody. In a way, I do like the idea of the dark fog. It's just that it is not very... You can't put any space-borne defenses into a system against seeds, which would make it all much more interesting. So not only will the seeds be sent around, but fleets and stuff. Yeah, okay, that would increase complexity by quite a bit, but it would make for something overall, in my opinion, nicer. But that is not for me to decide. That's for the devs to decide, and maybe they tried it out and maybe it doesn't work as I imagine it would. So, but all in all, that's fine. Give me no, that's fine. Give me 30 to put in there. Give me 18. I don't know. It's a great game. I can, even with dark fog, I feel like it's quite a relaxing game. Yeah, okay, it's annoying, but it's not any more annoying than a break. Okay, so I did want to go back to Epsilon. No, not Epsilon Lyrae just yet. Bloody hell. Is it Lambda City then? It's Lambda City. Which one? Where am I already building on? Collection planned. There we are. Back to here. Okay, not quite full, but I have...
A landing relay station detected.
A landing relay. Okay. Apparently now is not the time yet to return. In the Alfekra system, I also have a bloody seed that is trying to attack the planets. Alpha Hive.
Warp engine deactivated. Dark Fog Hive Core destroyed.
Okay. Wasn't there still something on its way to one of the planets? We need to speed up a little. We need to get there in a timely fashion so we can remove the Dark Fog presence out of the system for good, again, at least until in an hour and a half the next one comes in.
Cruise ended. Flight mode. Dark Fog base core destroyed. Flight mode.
Do we have a charging pylon? I feel we should have. Especially with all of this nice amount of energy around. There we are. There is my charger. Doo-dum. I do need to go back home to Electra at one point soonish. Although the hydrogen fuel rods I should get on many places. Fair, not necessarily on this planet, but any planet with fire ice I'll be able to get the hydrogen fuel rods, since I am using them for my main energy production on planet anyway. What do we have here? Solar sail attaching speed, Dyson says stress system. That being said, show all planetary systems. Epsilon Lyrae is... I'm already planning here for more inside of these swarms. I have about 30,000 in orbit. can I move this further up? Nodes too far apart. Act in or conflict? Hello, Tira. Good morning to you. How are you? Did you have a good night? I hope you did. And I hope that you're going to have a great Thursday ahead of you. I've forgotten what day it was for whatever reason, and I'm just continuing the planning of the Dyson sphere I'm going to be building around here. Can I? Okay, that's not great. Ooh. Well, that's unfortunate. I hope that you manage. Yeah, okay. No, you are not a good node at all. Okay, at one point I've been starting. Okay, there we are. I've been starting to miss the lower ones, so I would not have been able to connect them. I thought that would have happened earlier already, but okay, I see. Well, I'll do my best. I'm not sure if I can keep you company until then, but I'll do my best to be interesting so that you don't fall asleep. And then you go for some shopping. Okay, I see. You didn't manage to get sleep, and yet you have a busy day. I hope that it'll be a fun day, even though you didn't get a lot of sleep, rather than it becoming an annoying day because you didn't have a lot of sleep. I do understand perfectly that I myself sometimes have. I have more issues with sleep than I want to admit to, which is yeah. It's not great not being able to sleep. So I really hope that it's quite temporary. It will stay quite temporary for you rather than becoming a huge issue. Well, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy you enjoy watching me and that it is helping you be or stay awake. Sonic 2. I have played the games. I have honestly not watched the movies much. I do know that they started out with a lot of controversy issues, in that Sonic apparently in the beginning felt like a complete mess, visual wise.
A seed is approaching your system.
He goes super. Okay. That does sound decent. Guess I'll have to sit down at one point and give them a watch. As I said, I've not taken to them yet, but maybe I have to. Shadow got into Sonic 3. That's nice. That's cool. Being her usual stalkery self, I'm guessing. I'm not sure if stalkery is quite the correct, term, but she is very obsessed with Sonic.
Cruise mode.
And yeah, no, I think I'm going to stick with it. She is, or she can be, depending on the game or depiction, quite stalkery. Okay. Coming back to Lambda City, where I have my current factory building process, which unfortunately got interrupted by this blasted dark fog, trying to siphon my energy and
Warp engine deactivated.
undermine the planets I'm working on. Okay, you're still quite far away. I'll wait for the seed to come into system proper.
Cruise ended.
I don't actually remember where Amy got the hammer from. Perhaps because I'm mainly remembering the old games and she was not all that present in those, if at all. One thing I have to say, that Sonic Team has been brilliant with a character cast. They all got a lot of personality, all bigger than life, which Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 was Dreamcast. I haven't played that one yet. Yeah, but she's quite famous for her hammer and her attitude.
Flight mode.
Which for the series in general is a very good thing. I'm not sure why I'm still indicating.
Flight mode.
Okay, and I have. Honestly, that's good. And in a lot of places, she's always represented as somebody who... She's always represented in a strong-minded fashion, always... She knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to try and get it. Even if that specifically means that she has to step on the toes of a few people. And I can respect that. She is...
Flight mode.
not without flaws, let's put it like that, but... she's not somebody you're going to be bossing around either, so...
Flight mode.
You going over here? There we are. Okay, I need to take a look at my notes. Yeah, that is... She doesn't like when you attack Sonic. And power to her. She, as I said, she knows what she wants. She's strong. She is... Sonic has great characters. They not only... They don't always make the games live up to the potential of the cast, but the cast itself is great. An element that I also like with Amy, she can be on the shy side, but when it counts, she comes through. That's absolutely something I appreciate. Okay, I need... I'm not sure if that is... Still have some. Yeah, but... She's a good person at heart, and that is also important. Okay, I'm just going to put some stuff over here. Let's collect it down. I think that might be a better match for Amy than Sonic himself. The geometry here isn't great. Guess I need to do it like this. Well, they do share the weird chest fluffiness. That's right. But I think that also character-wise, Shadow and Amy are better matches than Sonic and Amy. But then again, she can be terribly headstrong, so... Okay, I'm leaving it to the writers for the ships. I tend to not be terribly maybe it's me, but I think rather than fixing, Shadow might just need to be able to have a place where he can be safe rather than needing to run around. No, not be safe, that's the wrong word, but be at ease. I don't think he really has that, so from my perspective, if it's less about fixing and more about being able to be at ease. Yeah. But then again, it is a... all the characters are headstrong and overly yeah, that's, in my opinion, though, less about fixing and more about allowing him to become comfortable. Yeah, and because they're not... They don't have all that much character arcs over the games, because they are more or less independent as games. They can't make an arc where he can learn how to become comfortable. Yeah, no, I did catch that, because but I was thinking that for Vegeta they had the opportunity over a long time for him to settle down, to not be on edge all the time anymore, to not need to be on edge all the time anymore. And he remains a great fighter. He also even... Yeah, I know. It's so cute that he's sitting there while having become comfortable with it. But it's there are some differences with it. In that they don't give Shadow the time to become like Vegeta, because if you've lived all your life like that and then been as proud as Vegeta also has been all that time, it's not easy to settle down and accept that without being, in a way, worried about your image. Bloody hell. Yeah, I'm sure it's intended, but it's making Vegeta still sound like a 15-year-old when he's having 2 or 3 kids. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I don't think it's all that easy. I don't think that later on he is still angry with the world, but there have been things which he himself has had trouble to accept. I'm not sure whether that is for himself or in another way. Possibly it may just be that easy. Honestly, I don't think it is just that easy though. Not for Vegeta.
Flight mode.
Toriyama... Yes, okay, he passed away unfortunately, but he was not... His characters had more depth than would be obvious. And he was playing on that. He may have some saltiness, but I also think if you look at where he comes from and how he grew up, okay, that's you could possibly say, well, after all that time, perhaps he should have come to gripes with that. Well, not everything, but he is... I think he's always worried about losing everything still. It makes him very protective, but also... Okay, misunderstanding there. You're right. Toriyama did say that, and yes, that is why Vegeta has lost so much. But if you look at beyond that, there is a lot of... There's still a depth to him, or maybe I'm just interpreting, over-interpreting something that is a lot easier. But I feel there is a depth, and if you have lost so much as Vegeta has, yeah, at one point you do become paranoid and you have trouble letting people close, or wanting to show that you're letting people close. And Toriyama made one mistake. Yeah, okay, Vegeta wasn't his favorite, but by making Vegeta the character he is, he became a fan favorite. Okay. With one of the updates, I want to be able to put signs down. The stuff you're looking for is over here. There are the turbines there. There we are. Here are the processors. Shall I be bringing...
Flight mode.
I think I shall be bringing the gratings over here. Let's see if I'm not 1 to 1, and I need 75. And I have an overproduction of 120. Okay. Yeah, he almost missed Bulma's birthday, but he didn't miss it, and I do... Okay, playing devil's advocate, I do think that Bulma understands that part of Vegeta. At least, I hope she does, because not sure it makes sense else, but so I've had a few discussions about why Vegeta in the end became Bulma's husband and not Yamcha, when both of them could be pretty distant, ignoring of her. I think one of the issues is that Yamcha was always fooling around with girls still, even afterwards. And another thing is, I think that even if Vegeta was being distant, at least, especially later on, it was a lot... What am I doing here? That's completely not what I need here. It's completely the wrong ingredient. Because it is very clear, especially in a few of the modern ones, that Vegeta would do basically anything to protect his family. I still remember when he was... oh yeah, that was such a great scene. But talking about Beerus, Vegeta was willing to swallow all his pride, and I mean all his pride, to protect his family. Absolutely no discussion there. His family was the important thing, and he didn't show it, but his actions spoke like, yeah, okay, my pride is absolutely secondary. But protecting my family is absolutely a priority I'm not willing to compromise on. Hello J10, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Hope you're having a good Thursday. So, yeah, there's a large difference between the two. Okay, why is that saying 9? Bloody hell, I'm an idiot. Okay. So there's a huge difference between the two, between Yamcha and Vegeta, and I can absolutely understand why Vegeta won out over Yamcha. Oh, you... Okay, I see. You can't wait, and you're consuming every piece of media trying to prepare for it. For me, the first Panther Clipper is going to be quite simple. All I'm going to do is good FSD, good... so good primary components, A-rated, a bit of engineering. Probably a 6 power plant, a 6 shield at the beginning, and then just do some more hauling with it. Probably, as I said, more aluminium. I have some places that need more of it. Okay, that should give me 80. Yeah, that gives me 80. And yeah, I am looking forward to it, and the 22nd isn't all that far anymore. All that far out anymore, I think is better put. Okay. I can... Should be able to build like this. I don't need to be too careful. It's the last input I need.
Flight mode.
To start constructing this. But yeah. Vegeta is a great character in my opinion. Okay, that's the sails. I'm going to go through afterwards. Okay. That's one more part down from the plan. So I can strike you out. And let's put one last factory down in this corner. We have all of the golds together then. At least of the current construction goals, and that would be the advanced mining machine. Okay. The grating crystals are quite close by here. I think I'll just be siphoning some off like here. You're at height. Okay, you're a segment and nice, but you're not telling me how high up you are. 5. So... Oh, yeah. And I'm not sure if I need to take the people I've heard about that seriously, but I've heard some people complaining that he doesn't, that some of his mannerisms, as in being stoic, unable to show appreciation, or being accepting or appreciation himself, that is ruining the character. And I think that is something that, with what he experienced, absolutely stays relevant and in a way necessary. And it doesn't take away from the arc he's having. Maybe I could interpret it as some people aren't happy if they don't have anything to complain about. And Money Shadow, thank you very much for the follow on Kick. But yeah, it is definitely something. Okay. I have the grating crystals for that. I can fetch the coils. I see what you're trying to say, J10. I'm not entirely of the same opinion for that. He has changed, especially if you see what he does in the Beerus arc, how he just puts his pride away. I'm not sure if that is even the right word, but that is something that he wouldn't have done, at least quite the same way before. He has... So he has absolutely has had some changes, but there's... In a way, there's only so much you can change before... And we need to remember that Vegeta wasn't young anymore when he came to start the redemption arc, because that wasn't until the earliest would be mid-Namek. And so there are limits on how much you can change certain stuff, but I would say that some changes he definitely did go through. Even if they were not... No, they were important enough, but... Maybe you could say that was always part of him, but I absolutely want and need to take care of you now. Yeah, okay, I'm going to give it a quick warp over. No, that actually might be the best way to put it, to be honest. Yes.
Upgrade complete. Warp engine deactivated.
Oh, bloody hell, that was... That was a big miss.
Warp engine activated.
his values for sure have changed over time.
Dark Fog Hive Core destroyed.
Okay, any pieces left? Then we can go back to building.
Warp engine activated. Warp engine deactivated.
And I do think that I'll be agreeable here. No, bloody hell, that's not the best way to put it.
Flight mode.
But I think the way you put it, that his persona, his personality stayed the same while his values changed, is a great way of putting it, at least. The best way is a strong word. I'm not sure it is applicable for most things. Sorry about that. So, I'll be picking up that conversation afterwards. I'll just be charging up a little here as well. So, I still have to do the titanium alloy, the frames, 12 quantum processors. I need 24 processors for that. Do I still have those? Absolutely. Okay, ads should have ended. Okay. So what I was saying before you had the ads, that the way you put it, that his persona, his personality is still the same, but his values changed, might be the best way to put his redemption arc. Not exactly sure a lot of people would see it the same, but you can have a, shall I call it, grating personality? A personality that's not easy to get, or too easy to get along with, but still be a good person for your values and your ideals. And that is definitely how you can see Vegeta in becoming, because he is absolutely changing his values over time, but his personality more or less stays the same. So and I don't think it's being said all that much, but something you feel definitely from a lot of people is that a lot of people have the feeling that your personality can be is more important. That okay, let me rephrase that. I have the feeling a lot of people that I see on Twitter, and a lot of the drama happens because for a lot of people personality would be more important than values. If you have a quote-unquote agreeable personality, they deem you more correct, more... I don't know how that works for these people, but yeah. And so from that perspective, I should not be surprised that a lot of people either don't want or can't understand Vegeta's redemption arc, because I've heard a lot of people say that at one point, but he didn't change. We're not having that. Okay, so the issue here is I need to import this, unless I'm bad at remembering, and I do have sulfuric acid, at least in system. Yeah, I do not. So I'll need to import the titanium alloy. Epsilon Lyrae Lambda City. Okay, so I have all the hydrogen and fire ice. Okay, I think the issue for also, I'll go about Tira. I'm not exactly sure what is so funny about that, but then again, as I said, I haven't seen the movies. I do know that his normal depiction is pretty fat, and I don't know how it was in movies 1 and 2. Okay. And to pick up the other leg, I do find that it is terribly unfortunate that I haven't seen any of them yet, and I think I will be needing to sit down at one point soon and take a look at them. But I'm imagining Robotnik out of the first games doing that, and that would be quite a funny scene. And I interrupted a thought, and I'm sorry about that. So, what I find unfortunate is that possibly we might blame social media for that we have a need to... that an agreeable personality is a more important aspect of a person than their values. But it feels like such an unfortunate and short-sighted thing. And again, maybe I'm an idiot, but it does very